It began like any ordinary flight. Clear skies, morning sunlight spilling gently across the cabin. The soft hum of engines. Passengers reading, chatting, or drifting into peaceful sleep. In row 10, a woman sat by the window, head resting against the seat, her hoodie pulled up, earbuds silent. Her name was Riley Cross, 28 years old, ex-Air Force pilot. To everyone else, she was just another passenger escaping the noise of life. But beneath that calm exterior lay a past she never spoke about, one forged in smoke, chaos, and loss. She had walked away from the sky years ago, promising herself she would never touch a cockpit again. She wasn't a pilot anymore. She was just tired. The captain's voice echoed softly through the intercom. "Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're cruising at 32,000 feet. Smooth skies ahead." Riley barely heard him. The rhythmic hum of flight lulled her closer to sleep. But sometimes, fate doesn't care how far you've run. It finds you, even in the clouds. 45 minutes later, turbulence struck. A light bump at first, then a violent shake. Drinks spilled, passengers gasped, seatbelt signs flashed red. Riley's eyes opened, instinct snapping her awake. Then came the captain's voice again, this time, trembling. "Ladies and gentlemen, if there are any combat pilots on board, please come forward immediately." The cabin fell silent. A heartbeat of disbelief. Whispers. Fear. Riley froze, her pulse pounding. She knew that tone. That was the sound of a man losing control. And no matter how hard she tried to bury her past, she could feel it rising again. Row 10 was no longer a place of rest. It was the seat where fate decided she would fly again. Every eye turned toward the aisle. The captain's voice still echoed in their minds, combat pilots, on a commercial flight? Someone laughed nervously, someone else whispered a prayer. But in row 10, Riley sat motionless, hands trembling on her knees. "Don't do it," she whispered to herself. "You're done with this." Her chest tightened as memories flooded back. Flashing skies, roaring engines, her squadron's final radio call before silence. She blinked it away, gripping the armrest. Another jolt. The plane dropped violently, screams erupted. Her instincts, those old, unwanted reflexes, screamed louder. She unbuckled. The man beside her grabbed her arm. "Where are you going?" "To do what I swore I'd never do again," she said quietly. The aisle felt endless as she walked forward, past panicked faces and flickering lights. In the cockpit, chaos reigned. The co-pilot lay unconscious, oxygen mask askew. The captain's eyes darted across the panels, alarms flashing red. "Who are you?" he barked. Riley met his gaze with calm defiance. "Riley Cross. Call sign Falcon. United States Air Force, retired." For a moment, the captain just stared, disbelief and hope colliding in his eyes. "We've lost autopilot," he said, voice breaking. "Systems are failing." Riley slid into the co-pilot's seat, fingers tracing the controls like she was greeting an old friend. "Then let's keep this bird alive." Thunder rumbled outside. Lightning lit up the clouds ahead, a storm waiting to swallow them whole. Riley's pulse steadied. Her fear turned to focus. "I thought I left this life behind," she whispered, gripping the yoke. "But maybe the sky isn't done with me." The jet plunged into chaos. Sheets of rain streaked across the windshield. Lightning flashed, revealing clouds like mountains of smoke. "Stabilizers hit!" the captain shouted. "Engine 2 is fluctuating." Riley's voice was calm. "We can still fly this. You monitor pressure, I'll handle control." The plane shook violently, trays flew open, passengers screamed. But in the cockpit, there was stillness. Riley's breathing was steady, her movements precise. Every flick of a switch was instinct, muscle memory forged from years of combat missions. "Come on," she muttered to the aircraft. "Don't give up on me." She eased the yoke, countering turbulence. Outside, lightning exploded, pure daylight in a storm. For a moment, her reflection shimmered in the glass, a warrior reborn. The captain glanced at her. You've done this before. She nodded slightly. Once. And it didn't end well. A moment of silence. Then she pushed the throttle, voice firm. But I won't lose anyone this time. Down below, passengers clutched their seats, unaware that the quiet woman from row 10 was keeping them alive. A child's voice carried faintly through the cabin. Mom, are we going to fall? The mother squeezed the little hand. Not while she's flying, she whispered. Outside, the clouds thickened. The radar showed no safe path. Storm's closing in, said the captain. Riley's jaw tightened. Then we go through. The plane dove into the heart of the tempest, thunder screaming around them. In that moment, Riley Cross, who had sworn never to fly again, was once more the Falcon. And this time, she was not flying to survive. She was flying to save. Hours blurred into heartbeats. The storm showed no mercy. Alarms flickered, wings groaned, and the captain's strength was fading. Riley's arms ached, sweat dripping into her eyes, but she didn't stop. Left hydraulics unstable, she muttered. Manual override engaged. Fuel's dropping fast, said the captain. We won't make land. Riley looked at the radar, then out the window. Below, flashes of ocean waves shimmered under stormlight. There, she said. A coastal airstrip. It's risky, but it's our shot. The captain hesitated. That runway's too short. She gave a faint smirk. So am I. Static crackled over the radio. This is Flight 217. Former Air Force pilot at controls. Request emergency landing. A pause, then a voice replied, calm and firm. Copy that, Falcon. You're cleared. Bring them home. The words hit her harder than she expected. Bring them home. It was what her commander used to say. And she had failed him, once. Not this time. Brace for descent, she ordered. The plane tilted downward, lightning bursting around them. Passengers screamed again, oxygen masks swinging. In the cockpit, Riley's knuckles whitened on the yoke. Come on, hold together. She guided the plane through the gale, every move pure precision. Wind shears slammed them sideways. Countering, she yelled. Metal screamed, but she didn't flinch. She'd danced with death before, and she wasn't done dancing yet. Through the storm, the faint glimmer of runway lights appeared, salvation flickering through the rain. Almost there, she whispered. Just a little more. The runway rushed toward them, drenched in rain, wind howling. Crosswind's brutal, shouted the captain. I've got it, Riley said, voice steady as stone. She angled the plane, nose slightly tilted, fighting both drag and fear. Easy, easy. The aircraft slammed down, once, twice, metal screaming in protest. Sparks flew, tires shrieked, and the cabin erupted in chaos. Riley held the controls like she was holding life itself. Reverse thrust, she yelled, muscles burning. The engines roared, water spraying across the tarmac. The jet skidded, fishtailed, then, miraculously, began to slow. The storm thundered one last time as the plane came to a trembling stop. For a moment, there was silence. Pure, deafening silence. Then a cry, then applause, then sobs. Riley sat back, breath shaking, hands trembling. The captain turned toward her, eyes glistening. You just saved 300 lives. She smiled faintly. No. They saved me. Outside, emergency vehicles rushed through the storm. Inside, passengers wept and cheered. A little girl ran up the aisle, clutching a teddy bear, and hugged Riley's leg. Thank you, Angel, she whispered. Riley froze, then smiled, tears mixing with rain. Not an angel, she said softly. Just a woman who remembered how to fly. As dawn broke, the sky began to clear. For the first time in years, Riley looked at it without fear. The storm hadn't taken her. It had given her something back, her courage. News broke worldwide, asterisk. Former Air Force pilot saves hundreds in mid-air crisis. Asterisk cameras, reporters, flashing lights, but Riley wanted none of it. She refused interviews, refused fame. When the airport finally cleared, she stood alone by the window, watching sunlight wash across the wet runway. The captain approached quietly. "You could have walked away like everyone else," he said. "Why didn't you?" Riley's gaze stayed on the horizon. "Because some battles don't end when you land. They end when you stop running." The little girl appeared again, holding out a drawing, a stick figure with wings, flying through storm clouds. "It's you," she said proudly. Riley knelt, smiling. "Keep it," she told her. "You're the one who believed." The child giggled, but her words stayed. Riley walked outside into the sunlight, the scent of rain and jet fuel in the air. She closed her eyes, letting the warmth touch her face. The sky had tested her once, years ago, and she had broken. But today, the sky gave her peace. As she walked away, a voice on the radio repeated her call sign. "Falcon." She smiled. Maybe the warrior inside her was never truly gone. Maybe she had just been waiting for the right storm. And Row 10, the seat where fate woke a sleeping warrior, would forever remain the place where Riley Cross took flight again.